implementation mode. And yeah, let's start from the main topic of video, the third principle of Agile Manifesto and how to use it. Well, the third principle sounds like this: deliver working software frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to the shorter time scale. Let's start from dividing it into parts. The first, deliver working software frequently, and then preference to the shorter period. So working software, that sounds to be easy. Your software should work and every piece of it should bring value to the customer. There are many concepts. There are really very many concepts of what is a working software. Lots of agile coaches prefer to use sometimes words valuable instead of working, but because basically you can create a piece of software that is doing something and doesn't bring value. So to be sure that we are on the same page with understanding this, let's agree that this working software is something that can come through the gate of quality triangle by McCall. So on the picture, you can see the example of this quality triangle from McCall's book about the testing. This is a very old but still popular concept in general world of software testing, quality assurance. According to this model, to be sure that your software is working and working in the right way, you need to be sure that it's valuable, usable, and feasible. And according to this model, let me switch to another slide. According to this model, to be sure that your software is working, you need to, well, switching back. You need to be sure that this triangle consists of three parts, like operation, transition, and revision. And in all these three parts, your software has no problems. So this basically means that your software should not only work, but be testable. It could be verified, and it could be measured. I totally understand that McCall's model that was chosen maybe is not the best for everyone in every cases, but this is a very nice case when you need to explain to your team or specifically to your quality assurance guys, to the product owners and etc. what exactly is working software, how you can measure it and etc. So you can just take this as an example of something that's something that can inspire you to write the list of things that your software should do, and voila, you have an agreement of definition of done. This is a concept of general Scrum topic, not specifically agile, but yeah, according to this model, you can agree on something that can be later used in other topics. But I believe with this triangle and this short intro about the first part, we are done, and we can switch to another topic, the second part, about preference to the shorter time scale. So if you remember the first principle, our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So the third principle about delivering in cadence and preference to the shorter one says that we need to organize our working schedule, plans, and etc. In the smallest cadence, from couple weeks to couple of months, with a preference to the shorter time scale. But if you understand the concept, you need to understand as well that having a shorter time scale means that your product will come on the market also faster. So this is the connection between the third principle and the first one that is on the screen. So early and continuous delivery of valuable software from the first principle. And here we are just organizing the development plan and all the stuff that we are doing for delivery in such a way that we can do it in shorter time periods. So this is a key of not only Scrum or Kanban. This is a key of any agile way of development, that while you are planning to develop something, you need to do it faster. You need to put your product on market faster. Your clients will give you feedback faster. You will change and adjust the bugs and fix and etc. You will satisfy everything and everyone faster, and you get rich faster. So this is why this is kind of in the middle of all the agile principles, and this is a very important principle. You can always use the third principle together with the first principle to um, help your team and to help your teammates understand better why it's so important. And basically all the examples that you can find in the books, like the strategy of the blue ocean and etc., they are really coming together with the third principle. But let me turn back. But basically, how to achieve shorter time scale. Agile Manifesto in this specific principle doesn't say about it, but using the next principles, using the techniques from frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, etc., you can try to understand how to do it. Because, you know, this is coming together with a myth-busting idea of having a lot of planning and preparation activities in Agile. To achieve shorter time scale of delivery, you need to know your backlog really very well, and you need to have your backlog in really very small pieces. You need to split, prioritize, and plan functionality based on any method you can. You need to invest more into the architectural runaway planning activities prior to development part, because to achieve really short time scale of delivery and development, you need to have really very small pieces. Sometimes it's hard to say that they are valuable. That's why we need to go back to the first part of the principle and understand, are we okay if our working software is not very valuable but still have some usability and etc. So this is a discussion, and that's why Scrum Masters and Agile coaches need to have examples of things to inspire the team and etc. So on the screen you can see that these are just the general methods. Invest into the runaways, try to split the stories. You can find any story splitting patterns and etc. And try to use any techniques like story mapping, roadmaps for specific user flow and etc., just to see how you can deliver small part but really very fast. And I know that it can be frustrating, and in a lot of teams you'll see this problem that it can make time. It can take a lot of time, and especially in the beginning, people can start complaining. They can start complaining and feeling that majority of things that they are doing is planning or planning of planning and etc. But this is only the beginning. This is the beginning that eventually will lead your team into having these smaller time scales, and you need to advertise the idea that they need to plan, that they need to understand what needs to be done, because not only the shorter time scale will be achieved, but also less problems will be on the production, less emotional damage on people in the end of sprint or closer to the deadline, when QAs will see that a lot of stuff was done, but they hadn't time to test it, and now in like 2 or 3 days before the end of the sprint, or week before the end of the whole release, they need to test it. So really very good planning can really help you with decreasing this emotional pressure. What else do we have here? Principle 9 and Principle 10. Principle 9 about continuous attention to technical excellence, and Principle 10 about simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work. So basically, these two principles also help to explain why the third principle and the first one are important and how actually to achieve it. Because you just cannot work in short time scale, but with doing something really very valuable if you are doing just some simple method, etc. Of course, it needs some technical excellence. It needs some, attention from the senior developers, from architects, and etc. So you could be sure that this stuff is really good. And simplicity, on the contrary, is saying that even though it is something that is doing a lot of calculations, changing forms, and etc., from the code perspective, it still should be something that is easy to understand for any developer in your team, or at least you need to aim to that. You need to believe and organize the work around the fact that any developer at any point of time will have access there and need to fix bug, copy paste for another place, and etc. So keep in mind that the developed software and each piece should be pretty simple. That's why a lot of concepts of microservices and etc. became more and more popular. So here, if you have a good technical background, or you can invite any tech guy to discussions, you can find even more things that can help you with bringing the third principle into life of your team and etc. Of course, I will do the video about the principle number 9 and principle number 10. You just subscribe to YouTube channel Study Scrum and press the notification bell. You'll see when it will come. And I believe with today's presentation, it's it. That was pretty short. Thanks everyone for attention, and have a nice day. Bye bye.